Today I'm going to talk about flight delays in Europe and in the United Kingdom because a lot of people don't realize that they could even get compensation for this, especially if they're coming from, a different area like the US or Canada or Asia. They don't think that they could get compensation there, but the truth is that they can. All you have to do to get compensation in those areas is to be departing from one of those airports. So if you're departing from a UK airport or an EU airport, then you're covered by the passenger rights regulations in those areas. As an interesting tidbit, 82% of passengers don't file compensation claims just because they don't know where to start or they don't know about them at all, which is kind of a waste because you're leaving money on the table. So the first thing you should know is that in order to qualify to get the compensation for delays, your flight has to be at least 3 hours late at the final destination. There's confusion about whether it should be delayed for 3 hours, which you technically can, but it's more about how late you arrive. Now, if you're at the airport waiting for 2 hours or more, the airlines are supposed to give you some sort of food or refreshment. But don't expect a lot. They're going to give you a voucher, and it's probably going to get you a bag of chips and maybe a drink, a tiny drink if you're lucky, but at least it's something. If your delay is 5 hours or more long, now you should be given the choice between a refund or a rebooking. And you could still get compensation if your flight arrives 3 or more hours late at your final destination. Now, everybody wants to know how much compensation can you get there if your flight's delayed. Well, it is between about 250 to 600 euros, and the conversion for that is roughly 260 to 630 US dollars. But the actual amount you get is going to be decided by the distance of the flight. So here's some things that you should do right away as soon as you find out you've got a flight delay. First, ask the airline why your flight was delayed. This is going to be really important if you decide to file a claim because it will show whether or not the airline is at fault. So be sure to ask the staff, the gate agent or somebody, why was the flight delayed? And if they say something like a staffing issue, then you are in the ballpark. The next thing you should do is hold on to your boarding pass and any other travel documents because you might need these too. You basically have to show that your flight was delayed and that the airline was at fault. So take as much documentation, photographs, screenshots as possible. This will help you. The next thing you should do is make sure you note down the time that you actually arrive. This is crucial because it's not just when you land, it's when you get to the gate. So be sure to write it down somewhere so you don't forget. And again, if you're 2 hours late at the airport waiting for your flight, ask the airline agents to give you some complimentary refreshments. And if your delay exceeds 5 hours, you can request a refund or a rebooking. And if the flight lasts until the next day, ask for hotel accommodation and transport there and back. If you don't get these things and you have to pay for them out of pocket, be sure you save your receipts because you could claim these as well as part of your compensation claim. You could get reimbursed for them. Also, don't sign any waivers. If you do, you might forfeit your right to compensation, which you don't want to do. Also, if they decide to try to give you a voucher in place of a refund, just make sure you read the terms and conditions. Read all the fine print because they might have short validity periods, lots of blackout dates and restrictions. So it's just better to get cash, of course. And then finally, you need to submit a compensation claim with the airline. You'll have to go to the airline's website and look for the compensation claim form. It's called the UK 261 or EU 261 form. Just look for it and fill it out. And if you need any help, let us know. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.